I know you'll be asked to record it. But again, my name is Christy Bradley, Director of the Atlanta Urban Debate League. I'm going to allow the other Atlanta Urban Debate League staff and student interns that are here on the call introduce themselves. But when we are in the session, I'm going to, or like when we're at a tournament, we'll do some more introductions of coaches there. But if you, as a coach, don't mind, and if you're able, depending on your closeness to your computer and able to type, if you just type in your name and the coach or the school that you're a coach at, we can then just have that information for everybody in this space. But again, Christy Bradley, Director of the Atlanta Urban Debate League. I'm going to pass it over to Allie.
Hi everyone, my name is Ali Madani and I'm the Assistant Director of the Atlanta Urban Debate League.
And we're in the same room, so Allie is using my microphone to speak. So you'll see me during times Allie is speaking.
Throwing my voice.
And Alicia.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. I'm one of the other full-time professional staff members here at the AUDL.
And Dusu.
Hi, my name is Dusu. I'm one of the student interns here at the AUDL.
Yeah, so this is just a small portion of the people that are here to help support you with your debate journey for the year. Again, welcome to all of you. I'm really excited to see some of our returning coaches, and then also great to see a bunch of new coaches. So I'm going to share my screen for just let's see, I'll just do that because there is some information that I want to share with you. Sometimes us visual learners like to look at something while we're there, but this is not the beginning of the presentation at all. So you'll get a little preview as I click back to the front. So this is our info session. We launched a little later than we normally do, but our first debate tournament isn't until October 21st. So we have some time to get your students ready for debate. But before we get started, I just wanted to let you know the easiest way to get in touch with us is the Atlanta Urban Debate League website, atlantadebate@gmail.com. All of the professional staff and many of our student interns watch that email address. So if you ever need anything, we will be able to help you if you contact us there. You also may get an email from our personal email addresses or our professional email addresses, which are Emory-based email addresses. The Atlanta Urban Debate League is a program in the Center for Civic and Community Engagement at Emory. And so that is our tie. All of our student interns are staff, our student staff that are Emory students that have debate experience or speech experience and are really great resource for our programs, our coaches, and our students. And nothing is better than having our student interns come for a site visit. I'll talk about those later. The students really gain a lot from working with our college students, and it's our favorite thing that the college students do when they're working with the Atlanta Urban Debate League. So I will also make these presentation slides available to everybody after the meeting, so you don't need to keep too tight of notes on this, but there are things that are going to be said that are not necessarily written on the presentation. I also wanted to start the meeting with a giant thank you and appreciation for the Atlanta Public Schools Office of Social Studies. They are really what makes the Atlanta Urban Debate League possible, particularly for our elementary division. Most of the elementary schools that participate are Atlanta Public Schools, and the main contact that you should be aware of is Joanne Wyckoff. I might have misspelled her name in this slide. There might be just one W, but I will double check that before sending this out. But Joanne is the K-5 social studies coordinator and is the person that you as an Atlanta Public Schools coach need to be in contact with, particularly for your transportation and the coach stipend. So if you have not filled out assurance forms and worked with Joanne for whatever paperwork you need for the support for your school, make sure you do that. I will connect with Joanne just to make sure I have know what paperwork you are needing to get your debate program supported through the central office. There are some also expectations that the Office of Social Studies has put on debate programs to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to get the financial and transportation support for your team. But they are a great team to work with so far, and we cannot express our gratitude enough to the Office of Social Studies. They are also the people responsible for giving us the facility we're using for our debate tournaments this year and last year. Ever since the elementary division began in the Atlanta Urban Debate League. But this year we are using the Thomasville Heights Elementary School facility. So we will make sure that you have the information about how to get there. But I know the Office of Social Studies does the transportation coordination for the debate programs within the Atlanta Public Schools. So make sure that, again, you give the Office of Social Studies the information that they ask for and by the time they ask for it, because I know they are somewhat constrained by the timelines of the transportation department to get that information in for the debate tournaments and other events that there might be. So I'm going to pass it over to Allie for a moment for us to talk about what our goals of the elementary division are. And yeah, take it away, Allie. I'm going to mute mine so it doesn't look so weird and you can talk.
Great. Do exactly that, right? Well, thanks very much. I just want to give you all a kind of brief overview of what we see as I think, three primary kind of benefits of what debate education does for these elementary school students, and they're all interwoven together. So we think of them in terms of debate skills, academic skills, and social emotional learning skills. And so within that first category of debate skills, kind of their predictable kind of benefits of reasoning and argument construction, which I think we can all benefit from, especially at a young age, argument refutation, and doing that in a kind of cogent and thoughtful way. Weighing various impacts between saying yes or no to a topic or resolution, being able to engage in good and friendly but insightful cross-examination, how we communicate with one another and how we are able to be persuasive in the way that we speak both to other teams and other people, but also to the judge who's evaluating around. And you can imagine how these debate skills build into academic skills that can be used in the classroom as our students age. And we're thinking especially about those ways that we structure arguments in terms of assertions, reasoning, and evidence, how we can present those in public with our kind of the public speaking skills that debate builds, how we can listen better in order to kind of more persuasively respond. How do we take notes and think critically about what we're hearing so that we can respond in a more detailed and thoughtful way. And all of the ways that we're kind of building our listening and thinking skills kind of transition into those broader social and emotional learning skills, things like teamwork, how we kind of cooperate with our partners, cooperate with the teams that we're, at least for the moment, in opposition to, how we can kind of make that a pleasant and receptive environment, how we can benefit from feedback when the judge is giving us kind of helpful but constructive or critical information about how to improve how we're going about our communication skills. Thinking of other things that are kind of useful in our kind of daily management of our lives, things like time management skills, since these speeches are quite short. They have to really learn our students have to learn how to prioritize what's the most useful and effective way to get a point across, and how to do that in a concise manner. And that allows all of our students to really have a kind of sense of who an audience is, knowing that everyone is different and has their own preferences, and you need to be able to talk to different groups that are different from you and learn from them. All of this builds a kind of resilience that we think is helpful in the classroom, in a debate room, and in general for the way that we go about life. So we're trying to use debate as a way to think, and as an incentive for how to think about competition as both fun, but mostly as a way to kind of gain some really valuable skills. I think I'll give it back to Christy now to continue on some of the other logistical matters.
Hey, so I am not skilled at running presentations on Canva. But so those are the reasons why we do what we do. And we have the debate tournaments to incentivize the students to actually learn the skills that debate teaches. We believe deeply that inherently the skills that Ali talked about are very important skills that lead to academic, career, and college readiness. But we know that students need a little something more than just these benefits to really make it hit home and to buy into it. So that's where our tournaments come in. And this is a really amazing place where we have multi-generational community engagement together. We have our students, our college students, the staff, the debate coaches, and a lot of parents that do come to our tournaments in a really lovely collaborative way. So a little bit about our tournaments. This is a repeat for our returning coaches, but for our new coaches, just to give you some ideas of what the tournament structure is like. And also for our returning coaches, we are returning to how things were a little more closely before COVID times than we did last year. So I'll talk a little bit about that as we are talking about the tournaments in general. So the overall structure of our debate tournaments are going to return more to how we were doing it prior to COVID. This year, we're allowed to have a meeting room in the cafeteria where all of the students can gather together, which is a really amazing time for us, where the students get to see each other. There's a lot of great energy in the room. It's also a space where you are able to meet and interact with other debate coaches. The thing that we're bringing back this year is the Public Speaking Expo. So some of our schools are geographically closer to Thomasville Elementary than others. So while we are arriving and then waiting for other schools to arrive, we are starting the Public Speaking Expo, where we will be giving students some impromptu prompts. They will be asked to think on their feet and write quick speeches that they will then deliver to the entire audience in the cafeteria. We also start leveling it up by introducing cross-examination to these, with incentives built in. In years past, we gave 1 Skittle for students that participated. It really is amazing how much students will put in for 1 Skittle and the opportunity to do some public speaking. We will also, before every debate round, while the Public Speaking Expo is happening, have a judge training. And this is really important. I'm going to be talking about judges a lot during this session. Judges are really what make debate tournaments possible. And we ask that every school try to bring 1 judge for every 2 teams registered, because that's what it would be to make a debate happen. Is for every 2 teams we need a judge. So you can start recruiting now for our debate tournaments that will be happening this year. Lots of parents like to come to debate tournaments to see their students. The more parents that we have in the judge pool, then the more opportunities we will have to allow them to watch their kids. So we'll be able to give a debate round off. That being said, we also are not allowing observers again this year. So you can't have people come and watch without being part of the judging pool. And it really is a way that we are able to get the audience adaptation part of debate as a skill that our debaters will learn. We want our debaters in the Atlanta Urban Debate League to be able to speak to a really wide variety of people. And that is something that students, particularly at that age, don't necessarily have the opportunity to do. The Atlanta Urban Debate League's geography is pretty widespread. So if we are able to get people from all of these neighborhoods and communities that make up the Atlanta Urban Debate League, our students are better educated and prepared for the rest of their lives to be able to speak in front of a variety of people. That is what we'll train judges before the first round. Every single debate tournament, judges can come to judge training as often as they like. And we're also there throughout the tournament to assist judges while they are also learning debate and learning how to give feedback to our youngest debaters. We are, at the very minimum, we will have 2 debate rounds. If the timing allows, we might have 3. So, but prepare your students for at least 2, potentially 3. I know we have a hard out at 1 o'clock where you have to get your students back on the bus to go back to your school. So the 3rd debate round is the one that if we have time, we'll do it. If not, we won't. We will have lunch every tournament. We also will have a snack for your debaters on their way in the door, just because young people need a little bit of sustenance to make it through a debate tournament. So a snack on the way in, lunch, and then we will have an award ceremony, and we will get you on those buses by 1 p.m. So a couple of things that we recommend that you do before a tournament begins is to, one, and I already mentioned this, is to start recruiting judges. They can be anybody that is from your school or a parent group that is part of the debate team, or if there's a parent center in the school. It's a really great way to get parents involved in their kids' activity. So we also on the Atlanta Urban Debate League try our best to recruit community judges. We have some of our student interns that don't have Friday morning classes come to the tournaments with us, but we do recognize that it is a work day for many people and it is difficult to get people to the tournaments. So I ask that people start recruiting now, recruiting early. And we are really appreciative of those efforts. We know it's hard to ask people to do this, but we absolutely have to have it to make a debate tournament run. A couple of other pre-tournament things that we would love for you to do is to register the Monday before a debate tournament. Our first debate tournament is October 21st. That's a Friday. So the Monday before is when the registration is due. I will show you where the registration sheets are in a little bit, but that allows us to do the preparation that we need throughout the week to get the debate tournament running on Friday. We buy food, we prepare supplies, we get as many people as we can to be at the tournament to make the day run smoothly. And it really can only happen if we know who is showing up to the tournament. If I'm not mistaken, I think you have to turn in your rosters to the Atlanta Public Schools Social Studies office for transportation well before that Monday before a debate tournament, but for our purposes to get things set up, we need it the Monday before. To register your teams, the structure for our debates, which we'll also talk about in a little bit when we talk about the curriculum and resources that we have for you. It's best if there are teams of 3 students debating against other teams of 3 students. It's just the way that our elementary debates are structured. Sometimes there are occasions where there are teams of 4 debaters, but for optimal debate running and for the optimal learning experience for the debaters, we prefer teams of 3 kids on each debate team. The other pre-tournament thing, and it happens the day of a debate tournament, but it really can speed up the check-in process, which will then allow us a little more flexibility and potentially the ability to have a 3rd debate round or a more extended award ceremony, really celebrating the kids and their accomplishments, is to text us on the way to the debate tournament. Once you are on the bus and you know exactly who is going to be there, you can text us, and this is a Google Voice number, and we'll make it very clear in our emails prior to a tournament for you to have this number to let us know that you're on your way, and if any kids aren't able to come, and if you have any adjustments to the teams pairings, we can make those changes while you're making your way to Thomasville Heights Elementary. So the good info to know, I've talked about this a few times before, and I may talk about it again, but I really do want to emphasize the need for judges at debate tournaments. Debate coaches can also be debate judges, and we will put any coach in as a debate judge if you don't have enough judges registered for your teams. So just letting you know that now. We are continuing a mask requirement while we're debating and indoor spaces when you're not actively eating. There are still members of our community that are vulnerable, and we in the Atlanta Urban Debate League believe strongly in community and protecting all of the people that are part of our community. We don't know what people may or may not be immunocompromised, or if any of our community members live with people that are immunocompromised. So with the current public health standards, we are requiring masks while we're indoors. As I mentioned many times before, we will have judge training. The Public Speaking Expo is a really fun activity for us. And for the awards, we are going to, every school that comes to a debate tournament will walk away with an accolade, with an award for the tournament. Not every kid will walk away with an award though. We will make sure that at least the top team, that the top performing team from each school will get an award. And we also will give special recognition to the debaters that are the debate teams that are winning all of their debate rounds during a debate tournament. So there is lots of awards to be given, but it is not an activity where everybody wins all the time. It is something that we have talked with coaches over the years where it's good to have students get recognition, but also good to have something for kids to strive for. So that's why it's not an everybody wins, but we do also provide certificates of participation that we give to coaches at debate tournaments that you can give at your debate practices once you return, and do your own accolades and superlatives after a debate tournament to make sure that all of your kids are getting recognized for the work that they put in, even if they're not necessarily winning a medal at a debate tournament, because we recognize that all kids are putting in effort and work to be here and are learning a lot while they're here. So I'm going to take us to the resources area of the Atlanta Urban Debate League website, so you can see while I scroll around the website where the best places are for you to get support for your team. So I'm going to just go straight to, I go here a lot, so it pops up pretty quickly, but atlantadebate.org is the Atlanta Urban Debate League website. It has most of everything that you should need as a debate coach. So I was trying to, I have some direct messages in the chat. I will respond to those after this, just to make sure, because they're good questions for everybody. So on our homepage, we try to make the experience where you can find the space on the website that is most tailored to your needs. So the coaches section is where I would send you to. So the coaches corner has information for elementary, middle, and high school coaches, elementary at the top, so I don't have to scroll down too much, but there are links to each of the sections at the top. And here is the primary area where our elementary coaches will spend their time. The elementary coach or school curriculum is really a coach-focused curriculum that you can use to teach your students debate. There are a lot of resources here, some that are generic for any debate season, but some are tailored for this year's topic. So I highly recommend you take a good look at this. There is lots of ways in this packet, both the basic understanding of the different skills that you will learn in debate. Plus, there are activities that you can do sprinkled throughout. So I know I'll scroll down and hopefully it's not too fast for y'all. I know sometimes when I watch people scroll through, it makes me a little dizzy, so I'll try to go slow. But the activity spotlights are throughout the curriculum where there is a main skill focus. One of our skill focuses or foci for debate is reading comprehension, and then there might be some activities that you can do for your debaters. We also have our debate skills that Allie mentioned at the beginning. One is how to make an argument. So there are all three parts of an argument here. And this is for all of you as educators in this space, you know this structure so well, and it's what we are trying to get our debaters and our students essentially able to do with their writing, like when they're doing a 5-paragraph essay. So this is a structure that is very familiar. There are all the other methods of teaching this, like the Tolman method, which is claim, warrant, and evidence. We just use acronyms that our kids are likely to remember or hopefully remember eventually. The other part, and I'm going to scroll pretty fast, so my apologies. I'm not on a clickable function right now because I'm just looking at it. Is the topic. So these are the speech templates in the topic. So the debate format, that's very important. So this will tell you how your debate teams will be set up, where we have the 3 kids debating against 3 kids during a debate round. There are 3 main speeches in our elementary division. We have our constructive speaker, our refutation and extension speaker, and our rebuttal speaker. So the constructive speakers on both sides set up the debate for their side of the debate. The refutation and extension, we try to name them based on what the function of the speech is. So they are supposed to refute the speech that has happened prior, but then they're also supposed to extend what their first speaker of their team said, so what the constructive speaker has said. And then the rebuttal speaker, and that's more of a debate jargon, rebuttal, but that is the speech that is supposed to tie the debate up for your side of the debate and really explain to the judge why your side should win the debate. It's for our most persuasive speeches. There are some speech templates to help guide you through the making of a constructive speech, which is the only speech in a debate round that should be pre-written. The refutation and extension speech and the rebuttal speeches are both speeches that require a little tailoring depending on what the first 2 speeches have said. So the middle speeches are the ones where you have to think on your feet and create some arguments against it and make some arguments of why your side is still the better side. And then the rebuttal speech also should not be pre-written. You can have some pieces of it that are pre-written, like a summary of what your side is fighting for, but you should also have kids think about what has happened in that debate round and why in that specific debate round, their side has argued their side of advocacy better than their opponent. There's also all the kids' favorite cross-examination. We have a couple of sections of cross-examination in the middle of the debates that allow kids to ask each other questions and some guidelines of what to do and what not to do during cross-ex. So the again, another activity spotlight, a game that you can play with your kids. I'm scrolling down to the topic this year because this also will be informative of how you set up your speeches in your debates. So the topic this year is that the state of Georgia should expand voting access to people ages 10 and over. We know that this is a pretty extreme age to begin voting based on a lot of the evidence and literature that's out there, but we wanted it to be something that the students that are in 4th and 5th grade to really identify with. So we included their age range to really think about it. And for our returning coaches, actually, this is for everybody. So the Atlanta Debate League, we have decided to use 2 different topics that alternate from year to year, since the AUDL elementary focuses on 4th and 5th graders. Most kids will only be in the debate team for 2 years. This will allow you to help develop and understand the topics more and more over the years. And also, if you have a really great activity that you work with the kids this year, you can bring it back when this topic cycles over again. The difference between this topic and the previous topic is that we call it switch side debating. So there will be an affirmative side and a negative side to this debate. The affirmative side, which is team 1 on our structure, will be supporting the idea that the state of Georgia should allow 10-year-olds to vote. Then we will have the negative side, which should say that 10-year-olds should not be given the right to vote, and is more supportive of the status quo, which is just a fancy term for saying how things are going on right now. So they are more in support of how we have our voting structure set up for the state of Georgia. We have in this topic a few articles that can get you started, but we really would like to encourage debaters to think about looking for evidence and talking about voting with their families and like why they, as 10-year-olds, don't have the right to vote right now and why they should. So they can also use some personal experiences and draw into their knowledge about how they operate in the world on why or why not they should be given the right to vote. The other thing is they will have to defend both sides of this debate. That's why we call it switch side debating, or assigned advocacy debating is another way that it's talked about. And that means that they don't have a choice about defending or not defending the topic. They have to find what they think are the best arguments for either side of this topic. And that is part of the learning that happens in debate, where you have to have perspective taking that doesn't necessarily align with what you personally believe or what your opinion might be about this topic. So it's a really interesting and tangible way that we can teach kids how to think about how other people see the world and how other people might operate. And so it's also in a nice protected area because this is a game. So it's a game of how do you explain voting rights and allowing kids to vote. So for our new coaches, the topic that we're cycling it with, so next year's topic, which was also last year's topic, will be a climate change topic. It's about reducing human-caused climate change in Georgia. And that is a plan versus plan topic, where both teams will have to come up with a plan on what Georgia should do to reduce human-caused climate change. So it's 2 different styles of debate that you see as if they continue with debate as they get older, but we wanted to give them access or just exposure to both styles of debate because they will see it in the future if they continue with debate. So those are, that is the evidence packet. I do encourage you to spend some more time with it than I am going to today, but I wanted to give you the big highlights. The other areas that I wanted to highlight is scheduling a site visit. I do know that I know Toomer Elementary has a site visit coming up tomorrow. We're really excited about working with your students. But a site visit is where Atlanta Urban Debate League student interns and professional staff will visit your school during a debate practice, and we'll work with your students on whatever you would like us to work with. It's a really great opportunity to have somebody from outside of your school work with your kids. The site visit right now is scheduled, or it's on a scheduling function of the website. So you can click schedule a site visit. And throughout the years, we've learned that elementary site visits typically are most functional within a 45-minute time frame from when we start working with the kids to when we end. It basically seems like just what our elementary students are able to process in that time. So we have the opportunity to do both virtual or in person, where we will come to your school. So if I were to book a in-person site visit, you can see what dates we have available. That being said, if for some reason you would prefer to have a site visit on a grade out day, or if it doesn't fall within your time frame when you click on a date, just send us an email and we will try to make it work. We recognize that elementary has a different model than a lot of our middle school and high school, where a lot of the debate practices happen after school. Sometimes elementary debate practices happen during the class, during the middle of the day. We are fortunate to have our college students as our student interns, where their class schedule might line up with your class schedule, where they would be able to come to your school, or an Atlanta Urban Debate League professional staff could come to your school. These are just the days that we know we could cover pretty easily, or the days and times. So don't let a grade out day or the timing availability make you think that you can't have a site visit. Our baseline is that every school gets 2 site visits each semester based on our bandwidth. But again, it's one of the best ways for your students to get excited about debate. Our college students love coming and working with students of all ages, so could not recommend it enough. I'm taking us back to the coach corner, just so you can take another look at some of the things that we have. The other area that is in the process of being more developed is our YouTube station. We have a lot of content for our middle school and our high school. I recognize there's less for elementary, but we are working on getting more for our elementary debates. And so there are lots and lots of videos for this. I'm going to actually task some of our student interns who work during the weekday to create a specific playlist for our elementary division. There are a lot of overlap between what our elementary and our middle school and high school debaters, particularly our new debaters, are learning. So we'll work on getting an elementary specific playlist together for you. And if there is a topic also that you think that could be a YouTube video, please let us know. We would love to develop more curriculum for our elementary division. The other area that I'll let you, that you can see, is the calendar has all of the programming that we have for the Atlanta Urban Debate League that's public. You can move the view around to help, process information in a different way, but you can also click on the elementary dates, see a little more information. You can see where they are. This is great if you're sending this information to parents who are going to serve as judges. You can have them look at this ahead of time so they can start planning. We also have our elementary tournament calendar specifically where it just has all of the information that you need for a debate tournament in one place. So right now we are allowing, we say there's a maximum of 4 teams per school, but we are continuously making new debate spaces in the space that we are allowed. The biggest constraint that I think you will have as a coach is finding judges for your debates. So I think that's the hardest part of filling a debate tournament. So that was one question that I had from Coach Harden. So it was how many teams are allowed per school. Right now, we're optimally 4 per school. The minimum is 1, obviously. The maximum right now is 4, but if you have a 5th team that you may want to bring, just let us know and we'll look at what registration we have. And if we had the space for your debaters, we would love to have them there. Our goal is to have as many debaters debating as possible. That's the key. Yep, and Coach Mitchell from Boyd asked about getting an Emory student to assist our teams. Yeah, absolutely. Sign up for site visits at first and we can help. And also, yeah, great. Coach Mitchell is asking for a YouTube video that will explain quickly what a debate is with an example for a debate tournament. And we can make that happen. We have a really awesome group of students that are able to turn that around pretty quickly. So I know that was a lot of information to take in at once. So I recognize that you may have questions right now, but you might also have unanswered questions in the future. I'm going to stop recording for the questions that might happen in case you don't necessarily want to be on the recording. And if it is a question that was information that we completely forgot for somebody that is watching this post not during this meeting, I will make sure to include that with the recording information. So opening it up to questions, and also remember that you can always contact us on atlantadebate@gmail.com for information if you ever need to reach us. And we also have social media at Atlanta Debate. So bunches of cool stuff happening on that space too. So stopping the recording now, answering any questions that people might have.